Hi everyone, my name is Hunter Dodd, and today at this symposium I'll be speaking about sparing nature, the conflict between human population growth and Earth's biodiversity. We will be discussing a brief overview of this topic along with some supportive evidence and the ethical dilemma that it faces. This book was written by Jeffrey McKee and was published in 2003 by Rutgers University Press. Jeffrey K. McKee is currently a professor at Ohio State University, has been since 1996. He holds a PhD in anthropology through Washington State, and it was obtained in 1985. So he has been in this field for a very consistent amount of time. His academic achievements include achievements in anthropology, evolutionary biology, anatomy, human biology, and population genetics. He has worked as a principal investigator and director of numerous archaeological and excavation projects, mainly in South Africa and in the United States. As far as literature achievements, he has over 50 professional publications, 4 of which of these are books. And Sparing Nature, it goes over 3 main topics that touch on how human population growth affects Earth's biodiversity. These 3 topics include human population growth, resource consumption, and the importance of biodiversity. With human population growth, throughout the book, he estimates Earth's human capacity, gives projections on anthropogenic growth rates, mainly during the Pleistocene era or the last ice age, and reflects on an ecocentric view, similar to deep ecology, to where humans and our environment that surrounds us are intertwined, and whenever we absorb too many resources, which kind of goes into our second topic, resource consumption, this a lot of the times leads to forest degradation and increased greenhouse gas emissions. Humans, as our population has grown, we've needed obviously more food. So high land usage from agriculture has displaced many species. Humans also have this innate ability to harness other species for exploitation and human expansion. And this can be seen exponentially in the past 3 to 4 decades. Overfishing the Earth's biodiversity has also become a hot topic, as we have had to start to extend further and further away from the shoreline just to acquire the same amount of food sources in the ocean. And the importance of biodiversity is stressed completely throughout the whole book of Sparing Nature. It stresses the interconnected nature of species, how one species depends on another species, vice versa, throughout the whole species web. And it also outlines the importance of healthy ecosystems. Healthy ecosystems are able to replenish any lost resources a lot easier than an unhealthy ecosystem that has been affected to where it doesn't function the way it originally was intended. And Sparing Nature also depicts the idea of keystone species that carry additional or extra influence on biodiversity. This a lot of times entails large mammals. Large mammals have the ability to alter the landscape. That's desirable for biodiversity, and also They're just they just have a larger influence on a multitude of species. This can be seen in humans as well. We are mammals, so we would be considered a keystone species that carries extra influence on biodiversity. So human population growth, is it really an issue? Since the 19th century, there have been correlative changes to Earth's biodiversity and increased human population related to urban density. So even protected areas where their main focus is to conserve biodiversity are negatively affected by highly dense human populations. In the western Ghats of India, research shows that protected areas have 30% less deforestation issues than non-protected areas. Now this is a positive, but to maintain biodiversity, protected areas are not necessarily enough. Road proximity, urban sprawl, urban density, all affect the biodiversity around those areas, which leads to the protection of biodiversity not being as efficient. So key changes regarding human population growth include atmospheric composition, also known as climate change, increased climate change, increased land use, exponential increase of land use, resource extraction, and water usage. Deforestation. So from 2001 to 2021, deforestation has increased 11%, while at the same time the human population has increased by 1.68 billion. Is this a coincidence? Well, no. Land use. We humans need more land. So as the human population increases, so does our need for resources. This creates what's known as a tragedy of the commons scenario, where our species consumes more, leaving less for other species. And then, especially when we regard deforestation, loss of carbon sequestration happens, which further extends climate change as well. It's a domino effect. So is depopulation ethical or needed? Well, we can actually look back 4 or 5 decades and see how this actually played out in the past. Biologist Paul R. Ulrich extensively argued that in the 1970s, hundreds of millions of people would starve to death. This obviously didn't happen, but many of his views are mirrored by McKee's, especially in Sparing Nature. As human population grows exponentially, so does innovation. Humans are the only species that can mitigate cataclysmic events, such as whenever the species of the dinosaurs in the prehistoric area, where biodiversity was completely lost, and pretty much living entities had to start over. Humans, we have an innate ability to be able to mitigate these cataclysmic events or global killers. NASA in the past recent months has actually demonstrated this through their double asteroid redirection test, DART, in late September 2022, expressing this need for human innovation. So this resulted in a successful deviation of the asteroid's trajectory. So if we do have an event to where we as humans have to act to protect the Earth, we are able to. No other species has this ability, and we only have this ability because of our exponential population growth, which leads to innovation. So I posted a clip right here from Armageddon. It's a movie, but it does bring home what I'm trying to express, that protecting biodiversity in of itself is not enough. We can protect, mitigate biodiversity loss as much as we want, but if we don't couple that with innovation, we are doomed to be at the perils of space. And here's the video I posted on here that we could watch real quick. This is a speech from the president in the movie.
I address you tonight not as the President of the United States, not as the leader of a country, but as a citizen of humanity. We are faced with the very gravest of challenges. The Bible calls this day Armageddon, the end of all things. And yet, for the first time in the history of the planet, a species has the technology to prevent its own extinction. All of you praying with us need to know that everything that can be done to prevent this disaster is being called into service. The human thirst for excellence, knowledge, every step up the ladder of science, every adventurous reach into space, all of our combined modern technologies and imaginations, even the wars that we fought, have provided us the tools to wage this terrible battle. Through all the chaos that is our history, through all of the wrongs and the discord, through all of the pain and suffering, through all of our times, there is one thing that has nourished our souls and elevated our species above its origins, and that is our courage. The dreams of an entire planet are focused tonight on those 14 brave souls traveling into the heavens.
That man's no salesman. That's your daddy.
And may we all, citizens the world over, see these events through. Godspeed and good luck to you. Freedom proves, independence proves. How you feeling? Good. No.
So I know this is a theatric. It's a movie, but it does depict very well the beauty of humanity, and depopulation does not support humanity. Thank you.